What's up, everybody? Welcome back and happy Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. They are linked there. So we do have a 4-star map from Florida yesterday. Florida's been kind of popping off for the past couple of days, so we're going to take a look at the large hail that happened there, and then getting into more large hail possible today for Florida as well as Texas. Both areas could potentially see some pretty significant storms later on, so we're going to talk about all of that. And then that low, that same system, is going to track off to the east into tomorrow, and the Gulf states could get hit. So going into all of our weather here in a second. But first, in case you missed it, or if you just want to hear about it again, we're going to be at the Atlas All-Stars Stadium Tour all the way through the summer. So it's going through August 17th. Our next event is going to be in Oklahoma City, and you guys can check our Facebook page for details on that. Then we will also be at the Contractor Happy Hour, and that is this week. So it's April 27th in Dallas at the Derby Restaurant. So come see us and C3 Group there. We'll be happy to say hello to you guys. Then getting into yesterday. So we had plenty of hail to go around through Texas, through Florida, and some of it got pretty large as it tracked over near San Angelo, near Lubbock, all the way out east into, the I-35 corridor down near Houston, all that good stuff. But Florida really kind of took the cake yesterday in terms of large hail events. There were just a few storms, but they made their way through parts of the Orlando suburbs, and with that, it had some pretty large hail. So let's go ahead and take a look here at that 4-star map from yesterday. So yeah, we got purple on the map. See, a couple of swaths here got, ping pong to golf ball sized stones, but it's really this one near Claremont and Citrus Ridge that really got going, producing up to baseball sized hail through Claremont, and then other hailstones through Groveland, Poinciana, Florida. And with that, over 77,000 homes impacted. So large hail hit quite a few homes overall, so making that a 4-star map for Florida from yesterday. Can we go for round 2 today? Let's find out. So right now, we got one low pressure system that's kind of moving through Oklahoma and Texas right now, centered over the Texas Panhandle. And with that, storms are already going through the DFW metro area, through Oklahoma City. Not severe yet. No watches issued quite yet. We're going to wait to see these ramp up here in the next couple of hours. So earlier this morning, there was a ton of cloud cover over central Texas. That's starting to weaken, starting to see more clear air. So that's good. We'll potentially see that cap break later on. And then these storms are really going to get going through Texas into later this afternoon. For Florida, totally opposite setup. Clear skies, no storms happening right now. Once that sea breeze kicks in, that's when we could start to see more storms forming into this afternoon for that area. Check out those temperatures though. Really the only areas that could see storms are going to be down near the Gulf Coast. 78 degrees in Houston, 86 in Miami. The rest of us are going to be sitting in the 40s and 50s, rainy here in Oklahoma City. Ugh, it's kind of chilly, gross. Feeling more like early spring in the northern part of the US, and then the far, far southern part of the nation is where it actually feels like late spring, and that's where we'll see those late spring storms. Dew points wise, again, it's kind of the same story. The only area that has that instability from that Gulf moisture is going to be the Gulf states. 70 degrees in Houston, 76 in Corpus Christi, 69 degrees in Miami, and 64 in Jacksonville. But those 60 and even 70-degree dew points, particularly through Texas today, is what's driving a ton of that instability. When you see dew points that high, that's really going to help you get those stronger storms into later this evening. And there it is on our instability, seeing those high values now from Corpus Christi all the way up into the San Antonio area in the next couple of hours, but streaming all the way up into the Abilene area. And then those storms are going to fire, continuing to see storms developing. Yeah, I know, Texas. Storms developing through the area And by 5 p.m. when things are really rocking and rolling, we're still seeing that instability available for those storms to energize themselves off of by, rush hour traffic. So be aware of that if you guys are headed out from work or, home or out to dinner or anything. There could be some potentially strong storms going on around 5 p.m. and then they're going to continue through East Texas, Central Texas into today and tonight. Florida didn't really have to touch on because it's a totally different setup, but there will still be some instability for you guys to work off of for large storms into today. Is there anything from the west, northwest, or southwest that you think might move into the Midwest, like Iowa or Missouri? For today, not much, just because it's so chilly up there. Really the only areas that have high dew points, high humidity, all that heat and instability from the Gulf are going to be limited to the Gulf. So we'll always see what we can get later on, but today's definitely a Texas and Florida kind of day. So here's the setup for Texas. We got our low pressure system that we saw on our satellite there, got that warm front working off of it, cold front coming down through the western part of the area through San Angelo in a couple hours. We'll see those storms developing near Abilene by around 3 p.m. and more forming along the 35 corridor. Any of those isolated storms could already be producing large hail. Now we get more coverage once things start to move along towards 5 p.m. and we'll see that cap break, storms forming all the way down the 20 corridor, down towards San Angelo, large hail possible there, and things starting to make their way into DFW. So for you guys near Dallas, especially on the southern end of the city, I think that's where you could potentially see that really large hail. And again, all the way east into Shreveport, hail chance for you guys by 5 p.m. Then it's going to continue off, again, into Dallas by 6 p.m., more forming down towards the San Antonio area. San Angelo, you guys are in it. Any of these could be producing very large hail by around 6 p.m. That's going to continue off to the east, and again, we're still seeing those angry supercells moving along the 35 corridor past Dallas now, and so it's going to be more of a hail threat to the south, and things up to the north starting to line out. So now we're getting all risks on the table: hail, wind, tornadoes, the works once you get past Dallas. Then finally we start to see more of a linear structure with these storms, more of a wind threat as they track eastward into Louisiana into the late evening and overnight. But definitely a potent hail risk for you guys in Texas today. Then for Florida, again, it's just a sea breeze show. By around 4:30 p.m., 5:30 Florida time, seeing cells already hitting around Miami, central Florida near Orlando, and then all the way up into, I think it's the Gainesville area in the northern part of the Florida Peninsula. Then we'll see more coverage by 6:30 p.m., 7:30 Florida time. And yeah, if you love Florida hail, you got more of it possible with a bunch of these cells with the potential to produce large hail into this evening. Then those are going to continue off to the east, starting to taper off, and we'll see the southeast picking up with more of a hail chance through the late night hours into early morning, but most of that should stay small. So for both Texas and Florida today, I'm moving over because the hail size potential is baseballs, possibly even greater, but that's probably going to stay isolated with a few select storms. But there are some areas that could see baseballs in both Texas and Florida today with these storms. So your much awaited hail forecast, here we go. Keeping most of the southeast in a swath today, all the way from Texas off into Florida. Couple areas of baseballs possible, so we'll get into it. If you guys are anywhere from Waco to DFW to Abilene, that's going to be the corridor that cells are initiating, and they're initiating early where all that instability is available. So the potential that you guys could see hail is very high, as well as the potential for baseballs in and around that area is also there. Then once we start to see things line out a little bit, that's when chances are going to come down. So low end for Houston, Shreveport, San Antonio, moderate chance for you guys to see some hail passing through your area with the remnants of that line. But again, this hatched area is where we're likeliest to see severe hail into today. And then obviously if you're in the purple, that's where we could see the largest hail possible. But 2.5 inches possible all the way to just east of DFW near the Tyler, Longview area, and all the way west to a little bit past Abilene could see some very large hail into today. Then moving east into Jackson, New Orleans, you guys could see a couple of isolated quarters. Same for you guys in Montgomery, Tallahassee, even Jacksonville, a quarter or two in and around your area. But where you got the bulk of those storms developing through Central Florida, Orlando, again, you guys do have a high risk of seeing severe hail into today. And with the strongest cells, Purple again is possible. So baseball-sized hail possible through central Florida. So be on the lookout if you guys are in any of these areas at all, and especially in those hatched areas with high risks possible for hail. Stay tuned into your weather tonight. So I'm going to put out a city forecast for Dallas for you guys today. 2 p.m. is when storms could start brewing through your area. All the way through 9 p.m. is when the line should be making its way out. You could get baseballs today. The chance of that is moderate to see anything greater than quarters, but your chance of seeing at least quarter-sized hail is high. So stay tuned, DFW, as you know, we're going to see that first round passing through and then potentially some more cells moving in a little bit later. So DFW is kind of where we're watching for today for Texas. For wind forecast, cutting out a little bit of the southeast here just because it's more isolated in coverage, but where that line is driving through Texas all the way through Louisiana, could see some severe winds there as well as through central Florida. So getting into it, city specific here, anywhere from San Antonio all the way east into Jackson and New Orleans, even Mobile could get some severe winds. But where we have things transitioning into a line through DFW, through Waco, all the way east into, again, Tyler, Longview, that's where you have the best chance to see high winds today. Some of those could be damaging, and then starting to taper down in our wind gust probability once you reach Shreveport and Houston. Then for Florida, we're going to leave Orlando in a moderate, since there's some good storm coverage through there. Could see some gusty winds with any of those cells. Low end chance if you guys are in Miami, a little bit too far south to see much, but there is a possibility that you could see a gust or two. So that's today for hail and wind. We got tornado coming up here. Let's take a look at that. The real risk area is going to be through, Texas all the way into parts of Mississippi where we're having those isolated cells, as well as parts of Florida once again. So Abilene, DFW, Shreveport, you guys are going to have the bulk of that cluster tracking eastward over you, so moderate for you, and then we'll see some cells kind of coming off of that through Waco. So really where you have that large hail threat, that's where we're seeing supercell storms. So that's where you have an elevated risk of seeing tornadoes along with that. Houston, non-zero chance, but still a chance. So low for you. Jackson, New Orleans, same story. Then down into Florida. Low end chance for Melbourne, Orlando as well. Could potentially see some storms get rotating through the area. So keeping you guys in the tornado risk, but on the low end. Mostly going to see potentially some large hail. Now into tomorrow. So we got a lot on the agenda today, but for tomorrow's forecast, we're going to see that low continuing to track along I-10. By around 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, going to see those cells moving up onshore, potentially producing hail, wind, tornadoes, the works. So yes, we have all three risks. And it's going to continue off east, and then we'll see more storms developing through central Florida, more potential for hail for you guys in that area as those move off the coast into your Thursday afternoon and evening, and then finally by around midnight into the early morning hours of your Friday, should see that cold front moving off the coast, storms tapering down, and potentially a quieter weekend. So for your hail forecast for tomorrow, highlighting that area we just talked about all the way from New Orleans into Florida, and the largest hail possible in Florida where we've been seeing some higher instability and some colder upper level air temperatures that could get us some large hail. Low chances across the board. We could potentially update those tomorrow. We're going to take a look and see how that low is shaping up as it continues to track through the southeast. And we'll take a look through central Florida as well to see if that has shifted. But right now, this is our risk area, low end across the board. Largest hail possible along the east coast through Florida and parts of Georgia. For wind, going to keep pretty much the same risk area, elevating it a little bit north where we have some more of storm clusters tracking through, and isolated hail or isolated storms could produce hail along the Gulf Coast. But those clusters accounting for up north for wind. If you guys are in Birmingham, Montgomery, Jackson, all the way east into Savannah through Melbourne, even possibly just north of Miami, could see some strong winds into tomorrow. Best chance through Mobile and Tallahassee. Then last but not least, for your tornado risk, looking at New Orleans all the way into the Florida Panhandle near the Tallahassee area. So if you guys are in New Orleans and Mobile, best chance for you guys, again, that's just because those isolated cells are moving on shore, potential to produce some hail as well as rotate, producing some supercellular storms. So moderate chance for you guys. And then Tallahassee, you got a low chance for you guys. Once that starts tracking east, could collect itself into more of a line, but still stay tuned. So that's what we have for the next couple of days. Today could potentially be a doozy if you guys are in Dallas or Texas or Florida. You got a chance to see some large hail, so definitely stay tuned to our page. Derek and John did leave earlier to go chase. They will be down in the Dallas area later, and they're planning on live streaming as long as they have internet coverage. So go ahead and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit see first on Facebook so you never miss one of our live videos or our storm chases coming up. Smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. You can also scan that QR code up above me or click the link in the description if you want a demo to any of our products. We map these storms live. It's a great way to keep up to date on what severe weather is happening in your area and when. So go ahead and get in contact with us in any of those ways. We'll keep you updated on what's going on today and tomorrow. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.